The internet is 15 years old. It's coming up on 15 years old. So there's a generation today coming to do their leaving cert who've grown up in that internet generation. So they've been used to nothing but the net, the ability to connect. So now what's happening is there's a communications explosion happening around the world. People are collaborating, people are working together. And at the same time, the countries from Brazil, India, China are changing the rules of the game. They're saying, I'm not waiting to be asked to join G8. We're going to set up our own club. So around that, the world's changing. So what we've done is we've basically provided a series of services that apply in a changing world. But the world is changing incredibly quickly. It's been changed by our customer. So the only thing that really matters from our perspective is what the user needs, what our publisher, what our advertiser needs, because they're going to dictate change. We're really here to serve them, so they'll determine what needs to happen, not us.
As an employer, how do you find working in Ireland?
Working in Ireland's been great. First of all, I think Ireland's the Ellis Island of the 21st century. There's 167 languages spoken around here. Unfortunately, they're not spoken by Irish people, and that's a huge problem we have in our educational system. But what we've had is the ability to bring in fantastic people who speak multiple languages, and from one location, we've been able to help advertisers in about 48 languages. That's a fantastic ability. At the same time, I think the government has been very helpful from a point of view of fast reaction, light touch regulation, focused on business, and it's enabled us to kind of solve a lot of problems.
Can I put it to you then that the conditions to get you into Ireland existed and were helped by the government, but the conditions to keep you here and to keep you running your business out of Ireland, maybe they're slowing down a little bit?
Yeah, so I think we're in the business of intellectual property. We kind of create ideas, and the ability to kind of to create those and make them work across multiple languages and multiple cultures from one location is a huge competitive advantage that we have here. So our cycle times are low. We can actually solve a problem in 48 languages in 48 hours. Very few places can you do that anywhere in the world. Generally, you can take months or years to do something like that. At the same time, I think the cost structure of this country has gone up. And that's one of the things we need to be really careful about. Because as an organization, the only people who actually determine how much revenue you make are your customers. So customers, aren't going to take on board increased costs.
Yeah.
So as a country, what we need to do is to get the cost structure in place. But at the same time, technology allows us to go up and basically become more and more productive, add more and more value. And as long as you get the equation right in terms of productivity going up and output going up, you can probably manage some element of a cost increase.
What about employment? Do you continue to have jobs to fill here? Do you
Absolutely.
see it as a growth?
Absolutely. If you kind of look today, I think there's about 150 jobs that are open. And we have no defined number in terms of how big we'll grow. It's about the quality of the people. If we can kind of continue to get great analytical thought leaders who can actually help us build new businesses, break the rules, change some of the existing businesses we have, we'll continue to hire.
And is the Irish education system providing those people in enough numbers for you at the moment?
I think that's part of it, but today 77% of the people we hire here are not Irish. We actually bring in from outside the country. A sad fact is Irish people don't speak enough languages. And today, if you're going to interact with advertisers or customers or publishers across the world, you need to be multilingual. So the Irish education system has done well, but what we've done is we've probably increased the number of graduates, but I think the key question as we go forward is to continue to increase the quality of the graduates. A lot of time we talk about the knowledge economy. I think we need to talk about the thinking economy. Are people coming out with the ability to analyze data? All the world's information is in front of you. Can you analyze it? Do you know what it means? Can you actually go against it and say, I disagree with this? Based upon that, I'm going to recommend that we change this business, open up a new business. And that's the challenge as we go forward.
Is that maybe a message that the minister who's here with us this morning should be taking on board? Is that something you hope the government are hearing?
Absolutely. Hope we're hearing that. And I hope they kind of think it's not just about quantity, it's all about quality. It's about innovative thinking. It's about analysis. It's about bringing maths back to the forefront of the curriculum. The whole technology industry is based upon mathematics. Every software engineer around the world, every piece of software that's deployed today is based upon mathematics, based upon ones and zeros. The countries of the world like India, China, Israel, Poland, Russia, who are at the forefront of technology, are at the forefront of mathematical education. We've got to get back there. That's ultimately how we'll drive the economy. And if we want to be a leader in globally traded services, we have to lead at the forefront.
We have a problem when it comes to education. Looking at a company like Google, so important to the Irish economy, can't get all of its staff here, can't even get half of its staff here because we don't have a workforce educated in the correct way.
Yeah, well, we have to recognise with Google, and John has touched on some of the challenges that his company faces, that they've grown the company in 5 years from 5 to 1,500. There's a number of other companies that are in the communication technology area, and they're growing likewise. And there's a huge opportunity, if you like, to grow even further. And that's recognised by Google's presence here and what they do and how they service their marketplace. I look at Google as a government minister and I say, well, they're our customer. So we have to look at them and see what we can do to assist them to ensure that they have the skills that are necessary within the Irish fork. You're always going to have people that will be brought in from Poland and elsewhere because you're looking beyond at masters and so on. So we need to look at our education system and ensure that we focus on languages, focus on maths, that we have graduates in engineering and so on. And I think that we need to talk more with the industry. We need to talk more with people like John, get them to engage with the educational system and begin to make the changes that are necessary. Like John said, he can deal with, find solutions within 48 hours. Unfortunately, in the political system, it doesn't work that efficiently. But however, with working directly with people like John, I think that we can make the appropriate changes and we can focus on maths because that's where we're falling down.
What we see, though, is the universities crying out for funding and telling us how desperate their situation is. And when you hear somebody like John from Google talking, it's very easy then to join up the dots when it reaches your department of Trade and Commerce and see the effects that that has. We're turning out more graduates, but they don't have the skills that the new progressive companies need. That is a real concern, and that's not something we can hang around waiting to do something about down the line.
I wouldn't agree. They have the skills. It's the numbers that John is concerned about.
Well, no, I think John is saying that we are getting the volume of graduates, but we're not getting the specific skills in terms of languages and maths that he needs.
And that goes back to the collaboration with Institute of Technologies, with the universities across the country, to ensure that they're focused on what is needed by companies like Google. In order to do that, you have to change the dynamic within universities. You have to change the focus. That certainly won't happen overnight, but it will happen in collaboration with companies like Google, and the government must lead the way. That change is taking place. Unfortunately, it's not as fast as companies like Google would like, and that's why they have to reach beyond Ireland to get the graduates that they need. But at the same time,
do you think part of doing business in Ireland for a company like Google is that they invest back into the education system, that they invest back into not only creating more jobs, but also creating the minds, if you like, and training the minds to fill those jobs?
Well, you have to do. You can't have a university with a set piece. They have to engage with the world of industry, the world of commerce. And it's only by creating that pipeline, if you like, going back to primary level, into second level, into third level, that you're actually going to create the mathematicians, the people with the languages, the engineers of tomorrow. And if that doesn't happen in collaboration with business, well, then it isn't going to happen at all. So we need to change that mindset, and we need to change the focus of funding and universities and so on within this country. And that can be only done by understanding the model that Google and John requires, and then working towards that in collaboration with universities and academia, and funded by government.
In the world that we're in, we always want faster. But I'd actually kind of like to acknowledge some of the work that the government have done over a period of time. About a year ago, we had some challenges on work permits and the ability to bring people in. I have to say the department, working together with Justice, kind of have turned on their head, and the type of changes in terms of cycle time has been phenomenal. Whereas before we were seeing kind of 4-month lead times, we're now seeing 4 weeks. So I'd like to kind of to say they react very well, and I think what we've done is, that's the other thing, I think that one of the reasons why I think Dublin and Ireland has been successful is, I think the government is a good listener. We actually have good conversations, and behind closed doors we kind of resolve issues, and then they actually come and they actually work. So kind of following on from this, I actually think you'll see the minister here being kind of a change agent, really starting to kind of to drive change across the cabinet and say, guys, come on, let's make this happen.
John, I have to ask you, and we need to finish up soon, but you give people free coffee, free food, free snacks. Does it work?
Unfortunately, I need to go to the gym a little bit more, so you can see that it does.
Does it motivate people, though?
I think it does. I think what we've done here is we've kind of created an environment where you actually come together to solve problems. Google's an innovation factory. We're not a traditional company. We're all about kind of creating new ideas, and whatever it takes in terms of an environment that it does to create those ideas, we put that in place. It's my job, it's the job of the kind of the management team then to take those ideas and to distill them into becoming real businesses. But what we've done here is we've created this idea factory, and you can look around it, there's fantastic ideas coming. There are ideas emanating out of Dublin that are becoming new products globally, new services, driving huge added value to Google's customers globally. So I think it works.